Hello everyone and welcome to this Python Seaborn tutorial for beginners. Now please note that this video is actually part 2, and if you haven't watched part 1 already, I'm going to have a link in the description. I highly recommend you watch that first before this video. In the first video, I've explained what is Seaborn and how and why it's been used. I've explained from where to download the raw data that we'll be using for this tutorial and how to input it in a data frame. I've explained line graphs, bar charts, bar plots, and histograms. In this video, we're going to go through Boxplots, ScatterPlots, and lmplot, which is a combination of regression plots and FacetGrid. Right, going down to where we left it in part 1, it was down to Boxplots. So Boxplots, same way as the histograms, are used to investigate the distribution of your data. And to create a box plot, you have to follow a similar methodology as we've done with the histograms. So first of all, we have to specify our array. So I'm just going to copy the same x equals raw data that we've created in our histogram. Again, if you haven't watched part 1, watch part 1 to understand from where to get our raw data and how to put it into a data frame. And I want to create a box plot for my revenue because I want to investigate the distribution of revenue. So this x equals now is going to create an array with all my revenue numbers. So this is the array. And now if I want to put this into a box plot, all I have to do is say sns dot boxplot open brackets and just put x in it. So there we go. So we have our box plot. It's actually quite small. So to increase the size, it's something we've shown in part 1. Is this function here? sns.set and then we set the figure size to be bigger. So I'm just going to copy it quickly, paste it down here and run it so we can have like a bigger plot so we can actually see it. Right, so what does this box plot shows? So the line in the middle signifies the median. So this line here is actually the median, and if we want to quickly print the median, I can just calculate the median. I can just say raw data revenue dot and then median, then open brackets, and then I can print this, enter. There we go. So our median is 9,452, which is this line here. Then the box in the middle shows the beginning of quartile 1. So this is the beginning of quartile 1 all the way to the end of quartile 3, which is here. And then the two lines, the whiskers, as we call them, the left to right, signify the minimum quartile and the maximum quartile. And all these dots, the outside here, signify the outliers. So if you want to understand how the box plot work better, I highly suggest you follow this link here, which is going to take you to the article I've taken this picture from, which explains in detail how box plot and the calculations of quartiles and interquartiles work. However, because this tutorial is only for visualizations, I'm not going to explain this in more detail. Right, moving down to our next example, we want to investigate the distribution of revenue by day. So we want to have this box plot by day this time, so 7 times. To do this, all I have to do is say ax equals sns.boxplot open bracket. I need to set my x, then I need to set my y, and then I need to say from where this data is coming from. So this data is going to come from our raw data, which is our data frame. So I'm just copy it, paste it. Additionally, I'm going to print the columns of my data frame so I can quickly copy and paste them. And I want to have my x as the day name and my y as revenue. So where's revenue? Revenue, copy, paste. So what this is going to do, up here, because we had x as revenue, it created a horizontal box plot. Now, because we switched them around, it's going to be a vertical box plot. There we go. So what this is telling me now, it has the distribution of revenue data points per day. These dots here are the outliers. The median highest day is Friday because the median is the highest. And usually the median lowest day is actually Tuesday or Saturday. And then, yeah, depending if we want to remove the outliers based on what we see or if we want to keep them in, we can take action on this box plot. Right, the next thing we want to do, the next example now, is that we want to take this box plot, flip it around, and change the color. To do this, I can just copy the same code. So Control C, Control V. Then I want to switch day name with revenue. So this is going to create a horizontal box plot, not vertical. So copy revenue, put it down here. Let's just run it quickly so you can see the same box plot, but we just turn it around. And I also want to change the color. Change the color now. I can say comma color equals, and then in brackets I can just put, I don't know, blue, and then run it. So we can say now it's blue, or I can use what we've shown in part 1, in video part 1. You can copy and paste this link into your browser. You can choose a color set from here on the right. So let's do something here, and then I can choose the color I want here. So wherever I click, and then I copy this hex over here, then paste it back into color, and then it's going to readjust the colors based on which shows here, which is a cool way of deciding which color you want to set your box plot or any plot to. Right, the next thing we want to do is to add the hue, so add the category basically, and that category is going to be the promotion. So I can just copy this as it is, paste it down here, and after the color I can say comma hue equals, and then promo. Then just to quickly show you what promo is, if you haven't watched part 1, I'm going to copy the data frame, paste it, and just say head. So promo is the actual promotion. If you had no promo, if it was promotion red or promotion blue, so it's this column over here. And then let's just run it quickly. So we get an error. It says promo is with capitals, and because Python is case sensitive, that's why it throw me the error. I also want to switch this back into verticals because I find this a bit difficult to understand. So I'm just going to quickly switch these two around. There we go. Nice. So what this is telling me now, as we can see, we have no promo, promotion red, and promotion blue. So promotion blue, as you can see, is the dark purple. Actually, I'm going to change the color so it's easier to understand. I'm going to make it green. Remove the hashtag. So the dark green, which is promotion blue, as you can see, usually is the median or the whiskers or the whole box plot is much higher than promotion red or no promo in any given day. So that's basically saying to us that the distribution of promotion blue in terms of revenue is usually much higher than the other two promotions, which is basically saying it's overperforming the other promotions. The last example we're going to show now is that we want to take this box plot as it is, or maybe this one, the vertical one, and just show all the data points in our distribution. So to do this, I'm just going to copy this as it is, paste it down here in example 5. I also want to add the color, so comma, I want to add a color of a light green, light yellow, let's say. So I pick a light yellow color from here, I copy the hex, copy, paste it back, and then run it. And now into this box plot, I do want to add all the data points by day. To do this, I need to create another plot, which is going to be the swarm plot that I have here. So I can just say sns.swarmplot, and literally I'm going to copy and paste the same thing as I have above. The only thing I'm going to change is the color, and the color, let's say I do want to add it as red. So the data points now, I'm just basically saying to it, I want to have red data points. And if I run this now, we can see that we have all the data points for all the days in all of our box plots. So we can actually see where the data is concentrated and gain a better understanding of the distribution of our data per day. I think this is really cool. By the way, if you feel that you're getting enough value out of this video, I would really appreciate it if you click that like button and subscribe to my channel. If you want to learn more about box plots, you can click on the link here, which is going to take you into the official documentation of Boxplot by Seaborn, and you can study more about box plots. Right, moving down to ScatterPlots. So ScatterPlots is actually very good plots if you want to investigate relationships. And the first scatter plot we want to create is the relationship between spend, marketing spend, and revenue. So we basically want to see if we spend more money on marketing, does revenue go up, or it's kind of flat, it has no effect or no relationship. Right, the first thing I have here is the df column. So I just want to print the df columns. So I'm going to copy my data frame and just say dot columns. I always do this just so I'm able to quickly copy paste the columns. And then to create a scatter plot is very simple. Again, I'm going to be lazy and copy something from above. Paste it down here, and I have to say ax equals sns.scatterplot. My x now is going to be the marketing spend. Independent variable. My independent variable is going to be revenue. My data is going to be coming from raw data, and the color I want it to be, let's say, green. And let's just run this. There we go. So we can see now that there is some sort of relationship. So as we spend more money on on marketing spend here, the revenue on the y-axis here goes up, 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 up. However, we do have some data points here that don't seem to have the same effect. They don't seem to follow the same trend. So we have to investigate this furthermore. To do this now, we can add the category. So hue, which is the category, and style also. To do this, I'm just going to copy this as it is. Paste it down here. After the color, actually I'm going to remove the color now because I'm going to add the hue, which is the category. So I can say hue equals promo. So I want to view this scatter plot now in different color data points based on the promotion campaign that we had. And I also want to add the style. So style equals, and style is still going to be promo because I want to change the style of the dots based on the promotion. So 3 different styles for the 3 different promotions we have. So if I run this now, we can see that we have no promo as blue, and the style of it is a circle or a dot. Promotion red, which is actually the orange crosses. Sorry, it's not a cross, it's an X. And then promotion blue, which is the squares, which is actually, as you can see, our best performing campaign. So as you can see, the marketing spend is not performing as well for no promo or promotional red, as we have all these data points here. But for promotion blue is actually, promotion blue is actually doing a very good job. Right, the next example I'm going to show you is how to change the size based on a variable, so a column. To do this, I'm just going to copy this column up here, paste it down here. I want to investigate the relationship between marketing spend and revenue. Actually, I want to change this to visitors because I'm going to make the size based on revenue. So I'm just going to say visitors here, visitors, and then copy this and paste it as Y, and then run this quickly just to view it. So we can see that the marketing spend is almost all 3 of them follow the same trend. However, now I can just say comma here and add the size equals, and then here I say revenue. So what this is going to do now, based on how big the dot is how much revenue each category generated. And I know it's still not very clear, but to make this even more clear, we can say sizes equals, and then put the sizes into, what do I have, 20 to 200, 20 to 200, and then just run this. There we go. So now they are much bigger. So just to help you understand now, here we've spent 1,000 marketing spend on 1,000. So this line over here. However, in terms of visitors, we've generated, let's say here, the same visitors. However, the size of the square is much bigger of the size of the X, which is the promotion red. So actually, promotion blue, which has bigger sizes, yes, it has the same visitors based on the spend, but it generates more revenue. So this is why this is a very good application of how you can use the size into ScatterPlots to gain more insight from your data. Same way here, you can see the sizes are much bigger than any other promotion red or promotion no promo. So we spend the same money, we generate the same visitors, but we generate more money on some campaigns versus other campaigns. Our next example now is that we want to investigate the relationship between marketing spend and revenue, but this time we're going to do it by day. Actually, I'm still going to leave it by visitor and change it by day because I think it makes more sense with the size. So I'm going to copy this, paste it down here. I want to change the hue to be day now. So day is going to be the day name from my data frame. So copy this, paste it on top of promo on the hue, and totally remove the style. This time I don't want to have the 3 different styles. So I'm going to remove that, and then let's just run this. Here we go. So now we basically have the same type of scatter plot as above. We've just removed the type and we've changed the promo by day. So our our best performing days now, we can see based on sizes, is almost like Friday, I would say. And what else? They have big circles. It's not easy to tell. We have 2 big circles here on Saturday, but basically I don't think this is telling me anything because they all seem to follow similar trends and they seem to be generating similar type of revenue. They don't, but what I'm trying to say here is that you're not going to get insight from every single graph you're going to create. You just have to investigate them all and then select the ones that you actually can get insights, and then the ones you can't, you just have to do them and investigate them. Right, moving down to the next thing now, which is to click that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already. And then we go to lmplot. So lmplot are basically a combination of regplots, so regression plots, and FacetGrids. So what we're going to do is basically going to take this scatter plot as it is and add the regression line on it, and it's basically the lmplot. To create the lmplot now, all I have to do is say ax equals sns dot lmplot open brackets. I need to specify my x, I need to specify my y, and I also need to say from where the data is coming from. The data equals raw data. Quickly, I'm going to put my x to be marketing spend. My y is going to be revenue. There's revenue. See how I like to copy paste everything. And then data is going to be the raw data. Copy, paste, and then run this. Right, it's actually quite small. Let's see if we can change the size of it. So size equals 10. Yeah, much bigger now, much better. Size parameter has been renamed into height. Okay, so it's been saying to me that I should stop using the size, I should start using the height. So I just change it quickly to height. So what is the regression? So regression, again, is a predictive statistical method for modeling the relationship between X and Y. So X is my marketing spend, Y, which is my dependent variable, is revenue. So what I'm trying to investigate is basically I'm setting a line there and trying to predict, let's say, in the future, if I spend this much money. So if I spend about, let's say here, which is around 3,000, let's say here, $3,000, let's say, I should expect to generate, put the whole line here, 20,000 something dollars. If you want to understand how regression works better, I have this link here which explains very well how the cost function works, which is very, very important to understand the cost functions. I think watching this, where is it? They have a very nice, there we go. So this one is basically explaining how the regression line starts until it converges into a line of best fit. So you can see how regression works. So you can make the best prediction with the minimum loss. Right. So the purpose of this tutorial is the graph. So I'm not going to go deep into the regression, but if you do want to understand how regression works, I have the link here and you can go and study it. Right, moving down to our next example now. I want to have the same regression as I have up here, but this time I want to add hue and style. So hue is going to be the category. So I want to see the regression, 3 different regressions by promotion, and style is basically the marker. I want to change the market per promotion. To do this, I'm just going to copy the same code as I have up here. Down here, I want to say comma here, hue, which is the category. I want to add promo. Let's just run it quickly. There we go. So we have the regression line or line of best fit per promotion now. I also want to remove the confidence interval. So I can say comma, di equals none. Run it. There we go. It's gone. And I also want to add markers. Let's try marker equals, and then O, comma, X, comma, last one can be the cross. No, maybe it's markers. Yeah, it's markers with an S. So now I've made the promotion blue to be the crosses. I've made the promotion red to be the X's, and no promo to be the circles, so the dots. So what we can get out of this is that actually for promotion blue, marketing spend has a much better regression or relationship or correlation, or it's all in one go. It's actually, it performs better, so the regression line heads further up and it follows the regression line, all the dots, versus the other two categories, which are basically not performing as good. So if I run the actual R squares, promotion blue is actually going to get much higher R square than the other two. But they do have some sort of relationship, as we can see. It's just that they don't perform as well as promotion blue. Right, in the next example I'm going to show now is, let's say we want to break them down into 3 different graphs, or as how many graphs as our category has. To do this, I can just copy what I have in example 2, paste it down here, change the hue now into so actual columns, and remove the markers, because now we're going to have only one marker per graph, and also change the height, which is the size, to maybe 5, so they're a bit smaller. If I run this now, you can see that it broke down no promo, promotion red, and promotion blue into 3 different graphs. Additionally, if I want to change the coloring, I can just say line underscore KWS equals, and then open brackets, and then in here is where I have to say specify the color. Let me quickly do it. So I can say color, and then I want to make this red. So this is going to make the actual line red if I run this. There we go. And I also want to change the color of the dots. So I can just say, I'm going to copy the same thing actually. Paste it down here. I change the line into scatter. So this is going to change the dots. And for the dots, I want to select the color, let's say, of this one, bluey. So I just copy this. Sorry. Paste it, run it. So there we go. Now we have blue dots and red line, red regression line, as we've said, in our 3 different plots that show the relationship between revenue and marketing spend by promotion. And also we get the same story as up here, where promotion blue is the line that points further up, which is the same down here. We can see that the regression line of blue points further up versus the other 2, which they still have some sort of relationship. However, if we do run the R square, as I said before, we're going to get a much higher R square here, a much more stronger relationship versus the other 2. Right, moving down to the next example now, we want to investigate the same relationship, revenue and marketing spend, but this time we want to do it by day and not by promotion. So I can just copy example 3 as it is, paste it down here, change the promo now to be day name, if I remember correctly, day name, and then just run it quickly. So as we've seen now, it broke it down the same way as up here into different days. However, it's not easy to visualize. So a way to get around this is just use a function called column wrap. So call underscore wrap equals 3. So depending how many, the number I'm going to specify here is actually going to plot 1, 2, 3 plots, and then it's going to plot everything else below it. So it's actually the break every how many plots do I need to move on to the next line. So if I run this, we can see that we have 1, 2, 3 plots here, 1, 2, 3, 1, and only one, because we have 7 days. But if we had more, every 3 plots, it was going to be changing line. So it's easier to visualize and understand our data. Additionally, maybe we want to change this color to something more yellowy, just to have different colors. Copy, oops, paste, run. There we go. Oh no, that's we can't see anything now, so I'm just gonna make it green. Anyway, so in terms of interpreting these results, as we can see, I think Saturday is probably the best day with the highest regression, because the line of best fit actually like touches all the points. After Saturday, I think the rest is pretty much, they are okay, most of them, but they're not as good as Saturday. So actually it's not telling me much by day. I'll probably have to break it down by day and then by promotion in order to get more insight. Right, this is it for this video. I'm going to finish the rest of the tutorial in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this video and you've gained enough value out of this video. And if you feel like you did, I would really appreciate it if you click that like button and subscribe to my channel. Additionally, if you have any questions or there is something you want to comment on, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching.